By the way, last time before my mom wound up shit's all blending together. All blending together. That was the last time Mom how many days was it even before she... Anyway, the last time my mom went grocery shopping on her own, she had a meltdown, like she... And, it was decided that I was going to go grocery shopping with her from now on, from that day forward, but then that didn't happen because before she was scheduled, we were scheduled to together go grocery shopping to alleviate that stress on her. Stress was a result of she hadn't gone grocery shopping all that time. She'd been, in the mental hospital, and then this was the first, she and I had gone together when Auntie had taken us major shopping after Mom got out of it, and then my mom hadn't gone on her own, and then the store had been switched around. I didn't have her getting anything special that she hadn't got for me before. And that'll be another thing that will happen when she gets home, while I'm trying to find a new home for me and Omar. She'll be going grocery shopping just for herself. I won't ask her to get me anything at all, and we will not be eating meals together. Just because my mom thinks she can live all by herself and be completely independent, and Auntie's now changing her tune out of vindictiveness towards me and whispering in my mom's ear how my mom could live on her own and be independent, and I know Auntie's full of shit because I have proof that Auntie's full of shit, both in text and in my brain. Proof of how Auntie's singing a different tune now than she was singing not too long ago. Fact is, living with somebody, even if it's not me, It's a hell of a lot better than living in a nursing home. I've been doing everything in my power to protect her from winding up in the home that, my God, last time when we were going through all this shit and whatnot, when apparently me and my uncle were illegally co-healthcare proxies over my mom, yet nobody said a word about it. Nobody. Nobody said one word. Nobody mentioned one word. And these were all in the professional business where people give them healthcare proxies, okay? Back then they were mentioning the possibility of my mom winding up in a fucking nursing home, which is her nightmare. I was trying to prevent for her for as long as possible. And I know damn well that that was the case, because my cousin and I felt like Uncle wasn't really, on board with trying to protect my mom from those other people and whatnot, that whole mess. Cousin's like, well, I talked to him, and, since they mentioned about how your mom could wind up in a nursing home, he's been looking into that and investigating that, Again, that's my mom's nightmare. Hell of a lot better for her, in this case, to have me here to help with grocery shopping, to make sure she takes her meds, etc., to watch out for her, than for her to be in a home. There'll be no independence in a fucking home, but she can't see it, so. And you think I would dare ever say that? She'll start babbling to all her friends. She'd start talking about putting me in a home or whatnot. It's sickening. It's sickening how it's just sick. Her sister will fucking coo in her ear and totally lie to her, and I know it's a fucking lie because I know everything her sister's been saying to me, okay? So if I say anything, I'm the bad guy. You get it? And meanwhile, I am the most protective person when it comes to my mom. I'm the most protective of her than anybody on this planet. I go to find her an advocate, and I'm told there's social workers that he never even bothers calling me back. I was told he would call me. He didn't call me back. And I called him and asked him to call me back, and he still didn't. So who knows? That's the thing. My aunt is so vindictive that you do not know what she is saying. I told you she calls my mom up in the fucking mental hospital to bitch about me, not to ask how my mom's doing, not to ask how it was my mom's recent stay in the hospital, or if my mom was scared, or just anything, just to bitch about me. Yeah, and after I read those last texts, after I read I did. Then I called Auntie's machine. But even before I read the last, I was calling Auntie's machine when different things were happening, to my mom. That we need to get my mom out of that place, But I wasn't calling Auntie's machine to call her a friggin' deceitful bitch or anything like that. Prior to that, remember, it was only text. It was a day we were texting back and forth. It's just she expects me to shut my little mouth about all the changes. She had said my mom wasn't going to wind up in that hospital. And then when I had to deal with that and accept that, acquiesce to that, then she says that don't worry, though, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be on this, Laura. I'm going to make sure those doctors only follow what your mom's nurse practitioner had wanted for your mom, okay? And then when she talks to the doctor and learns why his view is that the Lamictal will take too long to work, so the solution, and I got it from the social worker, my social worker in there too, is to get my mom stable, really, really drug her up, because that's their solution. And then when I'm unhappy about that, see, Auntie can't be bothered. Auntie's like, The same as my mom's social worker, the controlled opposition, where they'll tout themselves as my mom's advocate, but they're really totally on the side of the hospital and don't care that my mom's being completely obscenely over-medicated, okay? Where even the fucking nurses in that hospital have noticed. They noticed the night and day difference when my mom got back from the regular hospital where she was on, a reasonable amount of medication, not obscenely drugged up. And within a few days, and my mom said to me yesterday, and then my poor mom has decided that she has no choice but to be on this fucking meds, okay? Because she doesn't understand why she keeps getting sick despite being on those, she takes her meds, okay? She's just going to have to eat a lot and, of course, in the process, get fat. Remember, she's on 20 milligrams of that crack, so it's notorious for weight gain. And the other meds, I don't know if they cause weight gain, you know what I mean? Neurontin has no, I looked online and this wasn't like some natural news site or something. It was a regular site saying that Neurontin has not been FDA approved for anything related to mind disorders, and there's only been very, very few trials. They call them, they're not even, there's been very few double, whatever they call them, double blind studies or whatnot that proves that Neurontin should or can be used for anything other. There's been so few studies that it's sickening, okay? It's been FDA approved since 1993 for things like seizures, epilepsy, things like that. But in all this time, the FDA still has not approved it. So it's just, my mom, she's a guinea pig, okay? You think bad things don't happen with even specific psych meds? And that doctor pointing out other people take this much, they take 1,200 they take 3,600 milligrams a day, you're on nothing, 1,200 is nothing. Looking at all people are the same and all systems are the same, and my mom's 70-year-old system is going to process drugs exactly the same as somebody 20 or something. He's sick. And that's what my mom was telling me yesterday. She's going to have to eat a lot. I'm going to have to eat a lot to combat all these meds I'm on, Laura. Whatever. I told you she's not able to remember to drink water. Not able to remember. And when she comes back, again, I'm going to be concentrating on finding a new poem for me and Omar. I'm not going to pay any attention to anything she does. Nothing. Not her meds, not her fluid intake, nothing. We're going to have a phony fucking relationship where we might, she wants to see Tarzan. We might go and spend the day out or watch a movie or watch TV together or something, but I'm not going to say anything to her about anything, nothing. I'm not even going to look at her weekly meds. The only reason she even had weekly meds set up before, she was just winging it when she was on less meds. Oh, same with her vitamins, her probiotics, stuff. Then I ordered all that shit for her because she wanted it. But I'm not going to make sure she remembers to take it. She thinks she can live so independently on her own. She's going to wind up in a fucking nursing home. And you've heard it from me first. And I'm not going to be around. And I'm not going to... And when she cries to me, I'll be like, sorry. Sorry your sister's putting you in a nursing home, Mom. Joe's as stubbornly fixated, focused on, obsessed with his non-mainstream worldviews as mainstream people, most of them are stubbornly fixated, focused on, obsessed with their mainstream worldviews. I'll give you a perfect example. Prince dies. Joe tells me it had to have been murder. Prince was talking about chemtrails. He had to have been murdered, Laura, for doing that. Okay, and then I'm hearing all kinds of crap. Okay, nobody can deny that his plane had to have an emergency landing. Okay, no one could deny that. His former his backup singer or something, who was also a contestant on The Voice, said on Inside Edition that she was on that plane and that she thought he was going to die then. That was 6 days before he was, you know what I mean? But to Joe, Prince was a witness, and witnesses can't be doing drugs, so he had to have been murdered, period. End of story. And I said to Joe, I'm like, because I believe everything, every fucking little thing is not a conspiracy theory. Just because Prince was a witness, he's still a flawed human being, doesn't mean he couldn't have possibly been on drugs. Maybe he really wasn't a witness, or he was a disfellowshipped witness, or what, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, Joe's so focused on everything like that. Just because those things do happen, people do get murdered for speaking out or whatnot. It's awfully suspicious that and within a short amount of time, a whole bunch of alternative health doctors died under mysterious circumstances. But it's my understanding that there are witnesses. There's proof. Not just that Prince died of an overdose, but that he'd been using drugs, I don't care. I made a mistake regarding the Orlando mass shooting, what Joe was saying. They, and you know who I'm talking about when I say they, okay? I thought he was saying that nobody died. He was simply saying that they allowed the killing, that it was a false flag and whatnot. If you listen into my video and you don't know what a false flag is, look it up. Okay? All of that shit, yeah. I can see where they're coming from regarding all of that shit. But all of that shit, even if it's all true, everything that Alex Jones, if it's all true, it still doesn't mean that Prince was murdered, okay? And like I told Joe, we'll never know anyway, so might as well not discuss it. I'm not being a bitch to try to say, I'm just saying. Joe just automatically thinks, just because people are aware of all the shit going on behind the scenes in this world, that's what I wrote to Joe, doesn't mean those people, can't be doing drugs. Or in my case, drinking, But Joe just thinks it's impossible. Joe was a Jehovah's Witness. He was speaking out against Trump. That was Joe's thing, that Prince was murdered. And then I'm hearing all this stuff that like I said, Joe will stubbornly refute any little thing that goes against that particular conspiracy theory of the moment, as mainstream people will poo-poo and refute even the things that to me make the most fucking sense regarding vaccines and GMOs and, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm basically down the middle in my views regarding all of it. Think I would ever say what I know Auntie has been thinking, because she has said as much to me, hinted around as much to me, outright said it. My mom has said, my aunt has said to me, when I'm bowing down to her and not getting upset with her at all, or not bothering her with my concerns regarding my mom. And remember, I wasn't calling her, you need to get my mom out of that. And I was just saying, okay, I'm going to make the best of this, but you should, Auntie didn't even like me saying, oh, she just can't be bothered. Stop texting me. She can't be bothered, even when I'm saying stuff against the fucking little twit nurse practitioner, valid things that have happened, okay? Auntie doesn't even want to hear that. Why? What is in it for Auntie that my mom my mom can't see somebody else? I know Auntie's been now whispering in the church woman's ear and bonding with her, even though Auntie secretly can't stand the woman, because Auntie has told me, see how I'm being railroaded here? Auntie said to me she could definitely see more and more signs in my mom of what was of the sister that was mentally ill from the time I was a little girl and then some, okay? She was never right, ever. Okay? And I pointed out, okay, well, there's a difference in my mom. My mom worked over 20, she did all of that. And Auntie's like, I know there was a difference. I'm talking about now, though, I could see it. Okay, so Auntie's full of shit, whispering in my mom's ear, my mom should just, I caused all my mom's breakdowns, and I'm the biggest stressor in my mom's life, and she'll be just fine, and she should just live here with her little dog. Like I said, the woman who takes care of me was going to love, in quotations, that one. Huh. Auntie's full of shit, and I'm being railroaded. It's not even that I wasn't, contemplating moving out for other reasons or whatnot. But I still knew my mom shouldn't be living here alone. It's just the way this is happening, where Auntie's just acting, oh, it's the same thing. It's deja vu from 2010. My mom got into 2 car accidents that were her fault, and when she gave me details of what had happened, I was just, it was ridiculous. She got into 2 car accidents within a year, totaled her car both times, and I begged her. I knew she was a horrible driver even when she wasn't on all those psych, you know what I mean? And I begged her, just please don't drive, please don't get a car. And I have to hear her saying that, her sisters say she drives fine, and Auntie, this Auntie that's still alive, oh, accidents happen, you drive fine, just get a rental car, okay? I was justifiably concerned, and I asked but I become the bad guy, see? And I asked my mom, has Auntie ever driven with you while you were driving in your life? And my mom said, no, I rest my case. Okay? They just want my mom driving so they don't have to bring her places or whatnot. And I got into fights in this house where my mom was insisting on she can drive fine, she'll just take lessons, get a car, and I knew what a horrible driver she was. And then when she gets sick, oh my God, when I was here in 2009 and she was driving and she was in the middle of a breakdown, because she had just had one a month before and apparently was released and wasn't better, okay? She was sick from the moment I got here. No one could accuse me of that. She was not well. She had been released and she was not, and she nearly killed us literally 10 times. She's going down back roads, doesn't see the sign that says curve ahead, slow down to 20, and she went around that fucking curve at 50 miles an hour, people. This isn't a joke. And I have to have in the back of my mind back in, and that was in 2009 when she was sick. And then she totaled her car twice in 2010, 2011, or whatever, within a year. And still, she has to tell me, my so-and-so, of course, Auntie, she says I drive fine. She says I drive fine, Laura, like, okay, i.e., you're a fucking bitch to say otherwise, okay? Anybody smart can see exactly where I'm coming from. Anyone smart can see what's going on here. This isn't even remotely a case of me being mean, saying my mom shouldn't live alone. I didn't think for 1 second she should live alone even if I did move out, okay? But that's exactly what she's tending to do. She wants her independence. She wants it to go back to and she's got Auntie cooing in her ear and pretending to believe it when Auntie knows she's full of shit. And I have all the proof in the world. I said in my head and in text that Auntie's full of shit right now. Even driving local, you know, last thing in the world my mom should ever do is get a car. And every breakdown she's had, you know, and for the record, I have been treating her with kick gloves. I have not been getting upset. I have not. And this last time, she is the one who was screaming at the top of her lungs at me. I needed to borrow her fucking phone, and because I was. And she doesn't even need it. It's 5 in the morning. It's early. She doesn't need to call anybody, but she's obsessed. And I'm trying to text Auntie to tell her what's going on, and my mom is outside my bedroom door screaming, "Give me my fucking phone right now!" And she didn't even need it, people. Who is she going to call? She just was obsessed, okay? That's what she turns into when she's sick. But when she's not when she's in the middle of a breakdown, yeah, I do have to be firm with her. My phone wasn't charged. I needed to let Auntie know what's going on and do it secretly. Okay? She knew she'd done wrong because she apologized to me. But she didn't need the phone that early, and she thought I was taking it from her. I wasn't taking it from her. I said, "Mom, just give me 15 minutes." She was outside my bed, just kept, "Give me my phone, give me my phone, give me my phone," like she needs it that early. It wasn't the middle of the afternoon. I was borrowing it. I wasn't going to take it, okay? And then, of course, I had such reservations about us spending the day and going to the movies or whatever, but if I was going to cancel on her, she was going to go by herself. And then, because we had to take care of the 2 dogs, because this was the weekend, we had to take care of because she had wanted her dog back or whatnot. I think it doesn't really matter. The fact is, the movie hadn't been out for very long, and we could see it some other time, but she was obsessed with that, and we probably weren't gonna make it, and she's goes knocking on everybody's door to try to, you know, as we're walking and trying to get a ride and whatnot. I mean, and then you guys know what happened at the mall, but also you don't know she was out in public screaming at me at the top of her lungs. Like something like, "I want to see that movie," or whatever, screaming out in public, okay, in the middle of the afternoon or the early morning or whatever, when people are all around, and okay. I'm being railroaded here. People don't have a clue. People do not have a clue. Remember the last time with her little church friend, okay? My mom's sitting there in the middle of a breakdown, saying on the phone to elicit sympathy. That's why Joe was like, Joe doesn't care that my mom's mentally. Joe's like, your mom is like, you don't even know the things that he says. Because she's sitting there to elicit sympathy, saying to her church friend, "She tells me what to do. She tells me when to go to bed." And you know she's telling other people that she hangs out with and whatnot, okay? No, this is when she had no sleep, was on 1 hour sleep, was forcing herself to stay awake with coffee, as in, she's on 1 hour sleep, at least let yourself wind down and don't drink any more coffee, okay? This is when she couldn't function. These are the times when, like, she'll do things like pouring hot coffee into my blender because she thinks people are going to come over, and meanwhile doesn't even realize until I walk out there, it's boiling hot coffee, and it's spilling all over the counter and all over the floor. She doesn't even realize it's coming out the bottom. Those are the things that I deal with, but in secret in this house, while I have to hear her calling her, saying, she tells me what to do, she tells me to go to bed, and that bitch was going to call the cops on me. Because then I heard my mom, I'm listening out to the door in shock, and then I heard my mom saying, mind your own business, see what I have to go through, okay? And now we've got Auntie whispering in the church woman's ear, saying whatever, saying X, Y, and Z, okay? Unfucking believable. This existence I'm forced to fucking unbelievable, you know? Unbelievable to me. In 2009 I kept track. You can say, well, why'd you keep getting in the car with her? I kept track. The worst was, though, we're going through, she didn't see the signs that said slow down, curve ahead, and continued to go 50 fucking miles an hour around that fucking curve, and I thought I was going to die right then. But there were things, you don't care. You guys can label me mentally ill all you want to. You could do it all you want to. I'm aware of shit. And I could see how it was 10 times. Every time I got in the car with her, it was a nightmare. A living fucking nightmare. And then I have to hear her, she totals her car in a year or two later, twice within a year, both were her fault, and I have to hear her, she tell me, I'm the bad guy, see, I'm the bad guy. You think I'm going to say anything to her about what her sister's been saying about her, how she belongs, you know, she didn't outright say she belongs in a home, but she's seeing pre-dementia, and she's seeing signs of the sister that died, but that was mentally ill, like you know, forever, for my entire life, and then some, okay? You think I'm going to say anything about that to my mom? No. I'll turn into the bad guy. She's got her wonderful sister saying how she can live alone and she can have complete independence, and that's what she should do, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, okay? But I know the truth. I know the truth, and Auntie knows the truth. She's just a vindictive bitch. I know the truth. I have it on my head. I have it all documented. And I begged. I cried. I begged my mom, please don't get another car. Why not? They say I drive fine. But then it was like winter, I think, or something, and my mom gave, oh, another thing, my mom was letting her friends borrow, I had to hear that while I was in LA too. My mom was letting her friends borrow her car, and they went around in the middle of winter. The friend, I told you, the one female friend is a horrible driver, but it's her now dead husband, and they went, that was driving, and they were going up around someplace in mountains, and my mom, I had to hear from my mom, yeah, we nearly went right over the edge of the cliff, Laura. I'm like, wonderful. This was before or after, probably, yeah, I guess it was before she wound up totaling her car twice within a year, she got into 2 accidents. Or maybe the second time she totaled her on the first, but anyway, two major accidents within a year, and the second time she totaled her car, I begged her not to get a new one, and she decided to postpone, and then she wound up not doing it, I guess because she didn't want me to be upset. I was in LA, it's not that I could stop her, but she knew I was totally aghast at the idea of her doing that, okay? I wasn't living here. You can't blame all this shit on me. She's drugged to high heaven. She wasn't a good driver when she was only on the Prolixin, when she's on all kinds of psych meds. It doesn't matter if specifically any particular psych med, none of the psych meds say you can't drive on this psych med. You mix them all together, you add in her age, and she shouldn't be driving. And how many fucking times since I moved in here, it's 2012, okay, have I heard her say, I'm getting a car and you can't stop me. And she's right, I can't stop her. There's nobody that can stop her. It's nobody. I mean, I talked to my therapist at the time about that, the one I eventually left for, you know, a much better one, but, and saying, what can I possibly do? And she was like, well, you can, because, you know, they give you a license, they renew your license automatically, and my mom could technically come home right now and have people whispering in her ear that she just needs to take lessons and she can drive fine, because you know that's what her mentally ill friends will say to her. And I can't stop her. She could get a fucking car. And you who have seen all this stuff, that how she's deteriorated, not to know she's deteriorated, but we can't stop her from getting a car. She has a license. It allows her to drive. She has the money in the bank to get a car. Who can stop her? Nobody. What did stop her from getting a car is me living here. Because she knew, and when she's saying it, go ahead, Mom, I can't not stop you. Unfortunately, I will do everything in my power. I talked to my therapist, what can I do? And she's like, well, don't feel like you're totally helpless, Laura. You can write to the DMV and explain the situation and tell them about how she told, and et cetera, and that she should at least be given a new driving test. You know? Reporter. But this was, I was going to do this prior to, and she was going to renew her license for like another 7 years or something. Once she's renewed it, and they just do it automatically, and they don't give, you know, and that's it. She can drive right now. And when she gets on her high horse, she's like, she accuses me that I'm just a fucking bitch, in so many words, and she can drive fine, and she'll just take lessons. Lessons, believe me, lessons don't make your reflexes better when you drug to high heavens. Lessons don't, oh my God. You have to understand, my mom was a horrible driver. She was always a horrible driver. And you add her age and her all these psych meds she's on nowadays to the mix, it's a recipe for fucking disaster. Disaster, people. I know it is. That's why I was so upset, sickened. But remember, that was when, you know, they were all, you know, they'd all fucking in that, and I was sickened in 10 or 11 from LA that you know, because they just don't want to drive her around or whatnot. Their sisters would say to her, just get a new car and you drive fine, and accidents out and this, that, whatever, you know. She was a horrible driver. She was a horrible driver. Back when I drove, I was not a horrible driver. I was absolutely, I never got into any accidents or any tickets or anything. I mean, I was above and beyond cautious. In some people's warped view, I was probably too cautious. Okay, but whatever. Non-cautious people, more often than not, even people who speed when they shouldn't, wind up fucking dead. Or seriously injured a lot of the times. But knowing what I know and seeing what I saw, and then having to always constantly hear, of course we got into arguments over that. It's like talking to a brick wall. And then she'd agree, you're right, I shouldn't be driving, and then she'd get sick, and it's the first, every single time, I'm getting a car. Yeah, go ahead, Mom, I can't stop you, but I will not ever set foot in it, believe me. And I told her as much. And then her thing is she's going to get a car and let other people drive it. That was her latest thing too. That's one of those friends I can't stand. Actually, while I was in LA, was driving my mom's car and got into an accident. This is the one that was living here for quite some time and went on until Auntie, who had the power then, kicked her out and made her leave. And Mama doesn't want her independence. She wants nobody to notice anything, because only somebody living here on a daily basis can see it. Someone like Auntie, who very rarely sees my mom, is not going to know shit. No, I won't be a bit surprised. Oh, her thing was, I'll only drive locally, just so we can get places like to the store. Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm not setting foot in the car with you. Why not? Because I live here and I can see that you shouldn't be driving, period. But I have to be the fucking bad guy, see? And then, well, how about I buy a car and I can let other people drive it? Yeah, whatever, Mom. As we've already established, I mean, this was very recent, she said that. This was but a couple weeks ago or something, prior to her latest breakdown or whatnot, and whatever. Right now, we know that I'm, you know, that I'm moving out, so, and before I move out, I'm going to have you pretend I'm not here. You're not going to bug me for every little thing. You lose your cell phone. You're not going to yell at me to, you know. I try to make her self-sufficient even while I am here. She keeps losing her cell phone. You know, what did you do when I wasn't here? What would you do if I'm not here? You need to spend the time to look for it. Or else simply keep the fucking home phone. Keep the home phone when I'm out gone. And then you can, instead of looking for your cell phone when you lose it, you could just call the home phone and find your cell phone. Since you won't have me here to order to call it. And that's just one example. You don't even know all the little things that most people could do just fine that she's had me do for her. Or she can't find something in the cabinet or find something in the refrigerator. But remember, when she's living here all by herself, it'll just be her stuff and she won't have to worry. She won't have to worry about actually moving something, taking it out and moving it to find what's, you know, everything can't be right out front. Stuff's not gone just because you can't see it instantly, you know? Auntie's not even around my mom hardly at all and says she sees the signs in my mom, and yet she's going to turn around and out of vindictiveness towards me, you know, tell my mom that I need to move out and it's really for the best and that I caused all my mom's breakdowns and that my mom should just live here all alone with her little dog and be completely independent, etc., etc., etc. Phony fucking cunt. Oh, I'm not saying one word to my mom. Nothing. I have every right in the universe, all things considered, that Auntie couldn't even wait till my poor mom was discharged before yapping in my mom's ear, and she's still in the mental hospital and still sick and still drugged up. I'm definitely going to print out those texts. What I said to Auntie, Auntie's response. What I said to Auntie, Auntie's response on separate pages in big letters so my mom can read it. So she can know exactly who's going to have the power over her, who's her sole decision maker in this life should it come to it, regarding anything having to do with my mom's health, life, death, matters, etc. That's who's going to be your sole decision maker, Mom. Somebody who verbally attacked me in a text for simply expressing legitimate, genuine concern for you.